In 2026, your phone is basically a portable console now, and it's kinda crazy how good open-world games have gotten. I've been testing these for the last week, and some of these made me completely lose track of time. These 15 open-world games are what I enjoyed the most. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 15. If you have ever wanted to play Mount & Blade on your phone, Steel & Flesh 2 is as close as it gets. Seriously, I have spent hours just messing around in this world because the scale is ridiculous for a mobile game. You start with nothing and have to build your reputation. What I love is the mixture of gameplay styles. You have a global map where you move your army, manage politics, and trade, almost like a grand strategy game. But then, when you get into a fight, it switches to a 3D third-person action game where you are actually swinging the sword and commanding troops on the battlefield. It is a bit rough around the edges visually, but the depth is unmatched. You can play it completely offline, which is a huge plus for me. Before we continue, I would like to mention sponsor of this video. I am so excited because I actually had the chance to play NTE early. This game is basically the anime GTA concept everyone has been asking for, but it mixes in this cool, supernatural vibe. It is an urban open-world RPG, and CBT2 will support mobile, PC, and PS5. The closed beta 2 is launching on February 6th, and the updates are huge. The first thing I noticed was the racing and driving because it is a major part of the game now. You can race against NPCs or even online with friends, and the driving feels way better because they overhauled the physics. The damage details are crazy and really capture that anime GTA feel since tires get shot out and windows smash. You can even invite characters to just hop in the passenger seat and hang out while you drive. They also added some wild new mechanics. There is now a functional prison system where getting arrested means serving actual jail time or planning a daring escape. The world is almost seamless, with zero loading screens, and the NPCs are way smarter now, as they will run away, fight back, or call the police if you start trouble. It feels like a proper life simulation now. Instead of just fighting, you can dive into the economy to buy different houses, customize your vehicles, and even manage businesses like a cafe to build up your wealth. NTE is rumored to be released in 2026. Click the link in my description right now to pre-register for the game, and participate in the official pre-registration milestone event to grab those free rewards before you miss out. Number 14. Eve Echoes is arguably the most beautiful sci-fi game you can play on a phone right now. It is actually impressive how they managed to port the massive scale of the PC original onto a mobile screen without it looking like a potato. This is not a casual shooter where you just hop in and blast things. The user interface is packed with tiny text, complex menus, and a dizzying amount of information that can feel overwhelming instantly. You will likely spend your first few hours confused. The in-game systems are deep, allowing for incredible freedom in how you play, but the game does a terrible job of explaining how to actually do any of that effectively. If you have the patience to watch YouTube guides and learn the mechanics, it is one of the deepest space RPGs available. Number 13. Oxide Survival is basically Rust for your phone. You wake up on an abandoned island with absolutely nothing. No clothes, no food, just you and the elements. You have to gather wood, hit rocks, and hunt animals just to survive the first night. You aren't alone. There are other players everywhere, and you never know if they're going to be friendly or if they're just waiting for you to turn your back so they can take your loot. I highly recommend grabbing a few friends, building a base together, and using the voice chat to coordinate raids. The graphics are decent for a mobile survival game, and while it can be brutal, especially when you get raided while offline, that tension is exactly what makes it fun. Number 12. If you played the Wild America version that Handy Games dropped last year, you know these guys don't mess around with ports. This just came out a few days ago, and it is hands down one of the best-looking hunting sims on mobile right now. It's not an arcade shooter where you just tap heads. You have to track blood trails, watch the wind direction so animals don't smell you, and actually be patient. The map is massive, around 144 square kilometers, and you can explore it freely. They've got wolves, brown bears, and wild boars, and the animal behavior is honestly kind of scary with how realistic it is. It is a premium game, but they usually offer a try-and-buy version if you want to test performance before dropping cash. If you want a slow-paced, gorgeous simulation, this is it. Number 11. I usually hate survival games where I starve to death every 5 minutes just because I forgot to eat a berry. Dysmantle isn't like that at all. You wake up in a post-apocalyptic world, grab a crowbar, and start smashing. At first, you're just taking out fences and toilets for scrap metal, but the magic happens when you upgrade. You take that scrap, craft better tools, and suddenly you're tearing down brick walls and cars. Unlike other games where you're constantly stressed, here you're the one in control. You do have to fight off these infected ex-humans, but the survival elements are chill. You cook food to get permanent stat upgrades or buffs. Plus, the map is absolutely massive. You can sink dozens of hours into just exploring and inventing new tech. If you want to turn your brain off, listen to a podcast, and break everything in sight without paying for therapy, this is arguably the best way to do it on your phone. Number 10. Maneater Mobile is a new action game where you play as a shark in a large open water world. Your goal is to survive, grow bigger, and become the most powerful predator in the ocean. You start as a small shark and must eat fish, avoid danger, and complete missions to level up. The first thing I liked is how the water world feels alive, and I enjoyed discovering new areas like reefs, wrecks, and deeper seas. The growth system is also fun because you really feel stronger as your shark becomes bigger. Since the game was just released, there are still some parts that could be expanded, like more mission variety or more types of enemies. But even now, Maneater Mobile gives a strong and enjoyable experience. Number 9. If you've ever wanted a life simulator that feels a bit more like a GTA roleplay server than The Sims, you need to check out Sunday City. You start with absolutely nothing, and your goal is to grind your way up to becoming a business mogul. What I love is that it's an actual open world. You aren't just clicking menus, you're walking around, driving cars, and actually interacting with the city. The progression feels rewarding because you can go from riding a cheap scooter to owning luxury sports cars and running your own shops. It is an online game, so you'll see other players running around, which makes the city feel alive. If you want a casual RP experience on your phone without the chaos of a shooter, give this a shot. Number 8. Offroad League Online feels like the next generation of driving games for mobile. The graphics are seriously amazing, easily competing with what you see on consoles or PC. Even better, the developers are constantly adding new content. They drop new maps, new vehicles, and new parts all the time. I just tried out the newest map myself, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, with tons of challenging terrain. You can jump online and either set up a proper race against other players or just gather a convoy and explore the massive map together. It is incredibly fun to coordinate with other drivers. Even if you don't have friends who play, you can just download the game and jump into a random lobby. I bet you will find someone to explore or race with immediately. Number 7. I've been waiting for Spider Fuser for a long time, and finally it's here. I have to say, the developers really did an amazing job bringing this to mobile. From the swinging animations to the city itself, everything feels smooth and alive. The only real downside for me is there's no offline mode, but I understand why. It's a way for developers to support themselves. Honestly, watching a few ads to keep this game running is no problem at all, especially for something this well made. If you love open-world action and web-swinging fun, this is definitely worth trying. Number 6. Playing San Andreas on mobile brings back so many memories. Running away from cops, cruising through Los Santos, hitting those missions that made me stay up late as a kid. The definitive edition cleans up lots of rough edges, smoother shadows, better draw distances, and mod support pushes it even further. New cars, custom textures, even weird mission mods that make the game feel fresh. But sometimes my phone struggles in crowded areas, like when many cars or NPCs are nearby, but most of the time it feels surprisingly steady. If you want classic sandbox gameplay and unlimited freedom, this is one of the few where nostalgia and modern polish meet really well. Number 5. Truckers of Europe 3 feels like the closest thing we have to Euro Truck Simulator 2 on mobile. From the moment you start driving, the focus on realism is clear. Long highways, detailed trucks, and that calm, slow-paced driving style that's all about patience and control. It's not a game you rush through, it's one you relax with, just cruising across Europe and enjoying the road. Driving at night, in fog, or during heavy rain actually changes how the game feels, not just how it looks. If you're looking for a realistic simulator where visuals, sound, and atmosphere all work together, Truckers of Europe 3 earns its spot on this list. Number 4. Where Winds Meet Mobile feels like a proper open-world game. From the start, the map is large and open, and the game actually encourages exploration. You can move freely, climb, glide, and discover areas without being pushed into constant missions. That freedom is one of its strongest points. It doesn't feel like a game designed around short sessions or aggressive progression systems. Fighting has weight, animations look clean, and switching between actions feels responsive. The story is there to support the world rather than dominate it, which works well if you enjoy exploring at your own pace. It's not perfect, and it won't run flawlessly on every phone. But overall, Where Winds Meet Mobile delivers a solid open-world experience that feels closer to a console game than most mobile titles. Number 3. CarX Street basically set the standard for what drifting and handling should feel like on a touchscreen. Unlike a lot of arcade racers where you just tap to drift, here you actually have to manage your throttle and countersteer, and it feels incredibly rewarding once you get it right. The map, Sunset City, gives you that classic midnight street racing vibe. I spend way more time in the garage than I should, just swapping engines and tuning suspension geometry. Be warned though, it is demanding. You need a powerful phone to run this without it turning into a slideshow. The economy can be a bit of a grind if you're strictly free to play, so expect to work for those high-end builds. But for pure car culture in your pocket, nothing really beats it right now. Number 2. I didn't expect Red Dead Redemption on mobile to grab me so much, but it really did. The first thing that hit me was the world. It's huge, open, and full of life in the quietest way possible. Riding through the plains, watching the sunset, and just exploring without any pressure. The story is still one of the best parts. You meet people who feel real, and their problems feel real too. You don't rush from mission to mission. This isn't a game you play for a few minutes while waiting for something. It's one you play because you want to see what happens next. It's calm, deep, and honest. If you love open worlds and stories that feel like real life, Red Dead on mobile might be one of the most impressive mobile games you'll try. Number 1. If you loved the first Subnautica port that dropped recently, you need to clear some space for this one because Subnautica Below Zero is finally locked in for March 10th. For those who haven't played it on PC or console yet, this isn't just a simple expansion. It's a standalone sequel set in a freezing Arctic region. You're trading those familiar tropical reefs for massive ice sheets and thermal vents, which adds a whole new layer to the survival mechanics. Since it is launching in a few weeks, it's currently up for pre-registration. It's a premium title, so you pay once, get the full experience, and don't have to worry about ads or microtransactions. If you sign up early, I think there's even a launch discount, so it's worth checking out now.